Hello, I am your host, Mr. Fix-It. In this video, I will demonstrate how you can set up a new hard drive so you can get it working as soon as possible using one of Windows' built-in disk management tools. I will also show you how you can change and reassign drive letters to suit your own needs, to where you can customize them. I will also show you how you can change labels to help you identify what a volume contains right here on ES Repair. Hello and welcome to an episode of ES Repair. I am your host, Mr. Fix-It. Now I'm going to show you how to use the disk management tool in Windows. Now what I'm going to show you will work with Windows XP, Vista, and 7. Now if you're installing a new hard drive, then you need to have Windows set it up so you can start using the drive. Now, you don't always have to do this with USB drives because those are usually pre-formatted and nothing else is required. Those are basically plug and play. However, if you are installing an internal drive, then you will need to set the drive up. Now, to get started, click Start and then choose Control Panel. And then come up to the top and go to Administrative Tools. Now you will need administrative privileges in order to make any changes to the system. This includes the hard drives. Next we go to Computer Management. And when you see the list that comes up, if you have this list over here, you can open up the tree and go down to storage and then choose disk management. But you can also come over here and then choose storage, and then you can choose disk management here too. Now when you double click on it, it will bring up this window. Now this window lists all the drives that's currently in use. Now up here at the top, you'll notice that each one of them has a drive letter. It gives you the label, which is changeable, and I will show you later how to do that. And it tells you the basics about the partitions. Now this up here is listing partitions by the drive letter. Down here, this is actually listing the physical hard drives. Disk 0 is your primary drive. This is the very first drive on SATA drives. Now when you use an IDE drives, disk 0 is the master on the IDE channel or primary channel 1 or channel 0. It depends on how the motherboard's labeled. But this is your primary drive, is disk 0. Now as you can see, the drive is divided into two partitions. Each partition has its label and a drive letter assigned to it. This is what you see up here. Now if you click on Start and then go to Computer, you'll see that all the drives are listed. On here it's listing the partitions, not the actual physical drive. Now, let me get out of that and then go back to here. Now, this will give you the status of each drive, and it shows you what the drive or partition is used for. Now, as you scroll down, you can see that there's a lot of them that's listed on here. However, they're not listed up here because there is no current media in the drive or the device. Now, this one here is a USB drive that I have connected using one of my adapters. Now, as you can see, it's blank, and Windows does not have a drive letter assigned to it. Now, when you're installing a new drive, you need to have it set up, initialized. And Windows will pop up to see if you need it initialized. If not, you can always come here and then have it initialized. Now, you can right click it, then choose Simple Volume. It'll bring you up to the wizard, and then choose Next. Now, it will give you the maximum size that you can apply to the drive. Now, you can do multiple partitions, or you can do a whole single partition if you wish. Now, if you're going to be replacing a hard drive, then this will not clone or copy the hard drive. You need the special cloning software such as the AOMEI's Technologies Partition Assistant, which I've done tutorials for them in the past, and they are listed on our channel. Now here, I'm going to use the entire hard drive as one single partition. So I've got it set for the maximum size available. I'm going to choose Next. Now I can choose a drive letter. Now it currently chooses G, which I'll explain momentarily as to why. So we'll choose G. If you click on it, you'll notice that it gives you a list. This list is all of the drives that are available. That means that they're not assigned to anything. Now, you can reassign drive letters to different folders and different drives, and I'll get to that momentarily. Now, we'll click Next. Now, we can choose the file system we want, which is, in this case, Extended FAT or NTFS. Allocation unit size. This refers to how many bytes per sector that you want the drive to have. The default size is 4096 bytes per sector. Well, I do all my drives usually around 512 because I can get the most space out of them, which I'll explain why in another video. Here, I can choose a volume label. Now, remember up here at the top where I showed you got your labels over here? Well, that's what this is. So when you create your new drive to install it and set it up, we can go ahead and set it up. Now, you can do two things. You can perform a quick format, which just sets up the basics, and as you use the drive, then the system will continue to format the drive as you use the space. That's what it means by quick format. Now, to save time, I'm going to choose quick format. You don't have to. It can take some time to format a drive depending on the size that the drive is. Now, you can also choose Enable File and Folder Compression. Now, if it's a fairly large drive, this really isn't necessary. This is only for small drives, and when you're tight on space, then you can use compression. But it will slow your system down if you use compression. Now, once you have it decided on what you want to set, choose Next. Now, this gives you an overview of what your drive is going to be like. I've got my drive letter I want, the filing system I want to use, my allocations unit, the volume letter, and it's going to do a quick format. Well, I confirm it and I'm going to choose Finish. Now, it's going to format the drive and do a quick format. And as you can see, sometimes it's based upon what the size of the drive is, will depend on how long it will take to format. Now, as you can see, it's already completed. Now, I did a quick format, which means it just formats as I use the space on the drive. It's kind of like formatting the drive on the go. Now, as you can see here, it's ready. Now, another thing you can do is you can reassign drive letters using the disk management tool. To do so, select a drive, which I'm going to do here, and as you can see, it's currently assigned to drive D. Now, as you notice, this has now appeared. Earlier, it wasn't on there because it wasn't assigned anything. Now that it's formatted and it's been assigned a drive letter, now it's listed up here at the top. Now, if you look at the other drives here, you'll notice that Windows is drive C, Vista is D, my other partition here is E, and then it comes over here to F. Now, why does it do that? That's because primary partitions that's being used by the operating system gets the first assignment. In this case, Windows 7 is automatically assigned drive C. This is the operating system drive. Vista is getting D because it's the secondary. Plus, it's also a system hard partition. So it gets drive D. Now, because disk 1 is the primary drive in this case, it automatically gets E, since it's the first logical drive. And then this one will automatically get F. Now, I can switch these around if I like. So, how do you change the drive letters? It's very simple. First, select one of the partitions that you want to switch. Right click it, and then up here you'll see where it says change drive letter and path. Click that. This shows you the current drive letter that's being used. Now we want to change it, so let's click on the change button. Now it wants to know what to assign the drive letter. We'll go down to Z and then choose OK. Now, it will give you a warning that some programs do rely on drive letters, and I will show you later how to fix the problem. Do you want to continue? You want to click Yes. Now, it says that it's currently in use, and if you continue with the new drive letter, it will be assigned, but you can still use the old drive letter to access the volume until you restart the computer. Now, it will reassign the drive letter, even though it's being used, but it won't take full effect until you restart the computer. Then choose Yes. Now, when you restart the computer, it will make it permanent. Next, we'll click the other drive, and then we'll choose change drive letter and path, choose change again, and we'll choose X or Y. Let's choose Y, and then choose OK. And again, you will get the warning, and then choose Yes, and then choose Yes again. Okay, now I can go back and put my recovery partition, which is this one, on E now. Now I can go back to change and then go to E. Notice how E has showed up now into the list. We'll select that and then choose OK, and then yes. Now it is contained E. Now we can go back and do the same thing here. And there you go. This is how you change drive letters and paths. Now, keep in mind that the programs, when you install them, do rely on drive letters. Now, let's go to Start. And then, well, let's go to my desktop. Now, notice that I got the thing that popped up here. That's because my drive letter had changed and it caused it to pop up the autoplay. And again, these are the two drives that I exchanged drive letters with. Now, if you do change drive letters, you may have to go back and fix your programs so they can recognize the new drive letter to use. Here, all you have to do is right-click the icon or the program, choose Properties, and up here where it says Start In, you'll notice where it says Drive C. Now up here, you'll notice that it also shows C2. Now, both target and start in fields must use the same drive letter. So if you start your program and all of a sudden it says it can't find it, this is where you can check to find out if you need to change the drive letter. And all you have to do is select it and then change the drive letter to the new one and then choose OK. Now, when you click on it, the program should automatically return back to normal and you get your program functioning again. So keep in mind that if you change a drive letter, you may need to go back and change your program shortcut to reflect the new drive letter, just as I have shown. Now, let's say you want to change a label. Now, all of these are on labels, which is Vista, my recovery, and Windows 7. Labels come in real handy to help you identify as to what contains in the median. Now, you can't change labels on CD or DVD drives. Those are based on the disk that's in the drive. Now, if you want to change them, you can automatically just go to Computer, select your drive. In this case, I got this one here. Now, this is the one that we changed from E to F. Now, notice it says local disk. That means there's no label. Local disk refers to the drive is connected in the computer, which meaning it's local. Now, if I want to change the label, as you can see, it's being used. Now, all I want to do is right-click the drive and go down here next to the bottom where it says Rename. Notice how the box changed. Now, I can rename the drive. I'm going to name it VM because I'm using it as a virtual memory. That's what the size is being used for. And then just press enter. Now, it will say that you need to provide administrator permissions to rename this drive. If you're on an administrative account, just choose continue. If you're not, a window will pop up to ask you for your credentials, which is your password for the administrative account, and then it will automatically change the label. Now here, as you can see here, this tells you what the drive is. Now it will automatically change when you put a drive in. For instance, I'm going to insert a disk into the drive. Now notice how the name has changed. It's showing that it is my DVD rewritable drive, and it's drive H, and here it shows you what the label is. Now if you right click it, notice that it don't give you a rename option. This means you cannot rename a CD drive or a DVD. The label is only used when you create the disk. Now let me insert another one. Notice how the label has changed. Now to insert another disk. And watch how the label will change. Now as you can see here, it changes names. It no longer says the previous label, now it shows a new label. Now if you right click it, again, notice how it don't allow you to change the name of the drive. So when you make a CD or a DVD, or in some cases a Blu-ray disc, you have the option to label that disc. That way, anytime that disc is inserted, now you know what the disc contains. You can change hard drive labels, but you cannot change optical drive labels. Now that my optical drive has a new label now, which shows that it does have a disc in it, if you were to go back to computer management or disk management, you will notice that the drive is now listing. That's because there's a media in the drive now. Anytime there's a media inserted, and whether it's a flash card or a USB flash drive, if there's media present, then it will show up in the list. Well, this concludes this video. I hope it was helpful and informative. Please subscribe to our channel if you like to stay up to date with new uploads. We do have plenty of videos for you to look over. I am your host, Mr. Fix-It with ES Repair. Thank you for watching.